Action!
What I have done is we've got this mold and rim and everything set up here, ready to take a top. The plywood block is facing up towards the ceiling, and this is gonna drop on this way. What we want to do is double check and make sure that the center marks here, you can line them up with the center marks on the rim. We've already checked that out and made sure that that works. As a matter of fact, the ends of these braces just rub up against the inside of the rim. This is really nice. So this really only fits on here one way at this point, and that's a very good thing. Instead of putting it on and having it slide and be all around, because you use the goat bar sticks and clamp this in, and now it's maybe goes on a little bit crooked compared to the rest of the rim. That would be kind of sad. Gluing. You don't need a bunch of glue. You don't want to have a bunch of glue running all down the sides and gluing your rim to Bill's really nice workboard that he just made. Okay? So sparingly with the glue. To get started, I might directly apply a little line of glue right out of the bottle. As I continue to spread the glue, and I'm going to kind of tap the glue on the top. Thank you. Tap the glue on the top of the kerfing. As I run this out, I'm going to get an accumulation of glue on my finger, and I may not need to put the glue directly on the kerfing so much as just kind of add a little bit more glue to my finger and run this along here. And I want this to where I can see the wood grain. If you wipe and smear too much glue off, you're not going to get a good connection. Too much glue, it's going to be a runny mess. So part of this time is going to be watching somebody glue something can be like watching paint dry. I apologize, but we need to get everybody to the spot where they get a chance to see what it looks like to clamp the halo on here with the sticks.
It's not a lot of surface area you got to cover, but it's tedious.
It takes the time that it takes, like everything else with this. I can start this. Have we got a second bottle of glue? Or
We have more bottles.
I'll tell you what, I'll just run a line along here and then you can get one of it. How's that?
And we've typically found out with our students that if one person is applying glue, the other person kind of smearing it. Yeah, and it just works as works good last time.
Yeah, we went from none to like 3 or 4 bottles.
No.
Doug, did you dry fit to make sure
We
that
did.
your lack of kerfing?
Yep, it's a
Is
very
all
nice
right
fit.
place.
Yep, it's a
Good
nice
question.
fit. We put a bunch of go bar sticks on it and a halo on it when nobody was watching. So that when we got to this point, we knew it would work out.
One pro tip when you're dry fitting this, if you'll take your cell phone, turn on the flashlight, that's what it's called, the light source, and put it inside and then cover it up. You can walk around it and see where the light is leaking, where it's not kind of coming in. It's real, I stole that from the luthier.
I like that idea.
Yeah,
Pro tip.
that's a pro tip.
That's
That's
a
a
good
real
one to steal.
hashtag pro
And
tip.
then you leave your phone in there for the 45 minutes while it dries?
Your battery runs out.
Actually, when you take the top off, since you're dry fitting it and you're getting ready to do it,
Oh, during dry fit.
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah. But
Bad question.
if you don't say anything and they get all the go bar rods in there, then call their phone and then watch them panic.
Guitar ate my phone. Tim is focused. He's underneath.
Seems pretty reasonable.
I think he's taking it down.
I was going to say, or he's
We have
tired.
some glue right up the very-
And that's on
The
video.
places where it's
Yes,
not.
it is. You're
make sure you got
welcome,
a
viewer.
little bit of glue on the rim itself where there's no kerfing. Make sure that that glue goes right out to the very edgy edge. Doesn't look too bad. Okay. So what we're gonna do,
This is video 15.
go ahead and take your end.
One.
Not my end down here. You like where it's sitting? Now, don't be surprised when you first set that on, you're like, whoa, something's not right. Well, it's gonna be kind of teeter-tottery because this thing's got a 25-foot radius and this top may have sprung back a little bit. So when we press this guy down, especially if you do the flashlight pro tip, you'll know in advance that everything's going to work out. And then, do we have some of these?
You know, one of the things we do is we'll put the stiffer ones on either end.
Yeah.
Establish the ends first.
Yep.
With good stiff ones that hold it in place, and then go to the four corners.
So put the stiff ones on the center line.
Right, hit the ones near the center lines.
And then hit the X-brace ones.
And the nice thing is since we put the those holes in there, any idiot can find them. And then we'll put, if we have enough, then you put the lighter ones in between.
This makes those clamps from the first workshop obsolete.
They're not obsolete.
We can demo those too, because
Yeah.
people may
Just
find that
another
they
way.
have them.
Just another way.
There's at least 2 other ways to do this process.
Yeah. Because you may not have this halo in this setup. So we can show them.
So there's 11 or so halos, so everybody take one. I'm going to try to make other stuff for, especially the foreign.
That is really cool.
Really airplane people in Connecticut.
I'm stealing Martha's.
Go ahead.
I'm taking yours.
Well, Lenny just gonna come in and, here, why don't you run? You sit here.
Now, if you do this, you may not be able to do a whole lot about any kind of glue that's running out. If you drop the mold down a little bit before you get started, it'll give you a little more access. But this thing, oh, I guess I put more here. This thing is clamped down and it's not going to go anywhere.
Is there any glue seeping out?
Doesn't look too big. If you see some glue, a little bit of glue seeping out, don't panic immediately. A lot of times it'll contract and actually retreat as it hardens, as it dries. So just because you'd be able to be surprised, you have what looks like a little line of glue, and you come back later and all you have is some teeny tiny little dots because it actually withdrew away from the glue seed. You don't have as much hanging off.
The other thing is, don't take it and try to wipe it while it's still super wet. Just let it again become like that American cheese food product that you put on the sandwiches, and then just peel it off with a knife. It's perfect.
So this is glue on the top.
Okay, so the halo is just a template for where to put the.
And it protects the top is rather soft compared to some of the other wood, so this way you're not putting dents in your spruce top.
Yeah, actually that's really what it's for. We just added the holes in there because it was like, well, that would be nice.
Okay.
So the holes are there just to be nice. When we did it, I think at Penridge, they were just halos. It just went around, and you could use something bigger. This way, you could just see what's going on by having it clear.
Cool. All right, we've got about